Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, now a Michigan resident, has been gaining headlines since the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, ran for president. We talked about that, politics, and more. Do you get a chance to get to see much of Michigan? We're up here in this beautiful island at the conference. Do you get a chance to get out of Traverse City and see the rest of Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of parents, my whereabouts in Traverse City are mostly dominated by the kids' schedule. But, as an adopted Michigander, it's been a really great place to live.
Michigan is a critically important state politically with so much going on. But there's a movement within the Democratic leadership to have Michigan moved up on the primary schedule to one of the leading states. Are you a supporter of that notion?
I realize as somebody who's participated in presidential politics that it's important to accept that there are folks who make the rules and then folks who work within them. So I'll try to hold my peace, except to say this. One thing that I've found in Michigan is that this is a state that has every different kind of slice of what's going on in America, racially diverse, so many communities that range from rural to one of the major global cities here in the United States, in Detroit, suburban, exurban communities, places as varied as, the places right over the state line from where I grew up in southern Michigan to Traverse City, where we live now. And I think anybody who wants to play a role in national politics should be spending a lot of time in this state.
Once we get through the primary, once we get through the midterm elections, I think the Democrats feel pretty good about what's going on, their chances with all the races going on, not just here, but around the country here. Coming out of that, the president still has 2 years left in his term. How did the Democrats pull together and regroup and rebound, given he still has 2 years left? That's a long time.
Well, first of all, Democrats can respond to the things President Trump has done to make life in this country more expensive. Congress has power when it comes to the war that is making us all pay more for gas and diesel. It's even making mortgages more expensive because it's helped drive up interest rates. A Democratic-controlled Congress could do something about that. Same thing with the tariffs. Look, there are certain targeted tariffs that could make sense to protect American workers, but what we have right now is very different. It has made every American household pay, on average, an extra $1,000. And the Republican Congress has been unwilling to stand up on this. It's a desire for accountability, this realization that it is just plain wrong to have taxpayer dollars, for example, going to somebody who is convicted by a jury for physically assaulting police officers at the Capitol on January 6th. These are all things that Congress can do something about now. And I think if Democrats show our focus on making sure there is a better, more affordable everyday life and more accountability in Washington, those are the kinds of things that can earn trust going into the presidential election and the congressional elections of 2028.
Speaking of 2028, typically when people are running for president, they announce after the midterms, and the timing would be maybe after November here. I'm not going to ask you specifically what you're going to do, but have you decided, is there a timetable to when you're going to make your decision on whether to go for 2028 as presidential candidate?
No strict timetable. What I'm really focused on right now, and certainly will be through the midterms, is making myself useful for candidates and causes that I believe in. And that's been true right here in Michigan. For example, a special election for Shedrick Green for the state Senate. I was proud to have been part of that, knocking on doors with him in Midland. But also around the country, from an effort to reduce the effect of corporate dark money in politics, which brought me to Montana, to a candidate in Western North Carolina that I'm proud to support for U.S. House. That's going to be where all of my political energy goes until the midterms. Then we'll see what we've learned by then.
Your thoughts about Donald Trump as a political person, if you will. He wasn't in politics before, ran for president, has won two different occasions here, with all the things that have transpired, and he still has a very strong base of followers.
Even though President Trump is deeply unpopular, he has been able to exert an enormous amount of control over his party. As he does that, though, I think the party is shrinking because, again, there are a lot of people who believed him when he said he would not get us into a war in Iran. There are a lot of people who believed him when he said he was going to make gas prices go down on day one, grocery prices go down. Even people who didn't believe he'd do it on day one expected that he would have some results by now, and instead he's done the opposite. Inflation is actually higher than it was when he took office, and doing something about it was his number one economic promise. So it is certainly true that he has been able to wield a lot of power, frankly destroy a lot of people within the Republican Party who dared to stand up for their beliefs, but I think that has alienated more and more independents and some Republicans and certainly Democrats who, at the end of the day, expect a president to be supporting our everyday lives, to make this a better country to live in. And I just don't think, really, ever since he came down that escalator 11 years ago and became a politician, I don't think America has become a better place, and most Americans feel the same way.
Pete Buttigieg, there's lots more to say, but you know what? We're out of time here. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Same here. Appreciate being
All right,
with
and
you.
we'll certainly be watching to see what you do after the midterms here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.